Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm ScrapMan, bringing you another episode of Scrap Mechanic, and we are back in the medieval fantasy world. Today, we are going to be looking at some elf creations. So that's why we're over here on the elven side now. Now, you may remember in the last episode, if you didn't see it, definitely go check it out. But over there, you can barely see the silhouette. The dragon is still flying around that mountain over there. Now, there is one downside, is that it does seem to make my frame rate a little bit variable. Like, rather than just having my full frames, it kind of goes up and down depending on what the dragon is doing. So if that becomes an issue, we can always just remove the dragon later on when it comes to it. But for now, we're going to keep it there just because it's a great atmospheric piece. Like, even just from all the way over here, having that silhouette on the horizon. Well, not even on the horizon. It's kind of pretty high up there. But just having that silhouette in the background of the dragon just really adds to the atmosphere of the whole series. So we're in the elven area now, and we're going to be looking at some elven creations. Now, if you remember from previous creations, the elves tend to be a little bit more elegant, a little bit more advanced in their technology, and a little bit more high class, I guess you would say. So I'm going to be focusing on creations that kind of communicate that as well. All right, so first up, we're going to be looking at this Elf Temple built by Electro. So, oh, this thing's actually decently sized here. All right, check out. Ooh, I love the blue hue on these flowers. That's actually a really cool touch. Most of the flowers we have are red, like that, but this has like this cool blue hue. All right, so anyway, we got looks like a staff in here. Let's check out the story. There is a bit of a story behind this. So once upon a time, there lived an elf named Raelif. This elf was a wizard. He created and sold magic staves in the workshop for other elves. So he once created a staff so powerful that it could move mountains, with it. Raelif saved the elves from dragons and orcs. All the elves in the world knew about him. Dragons wanted to take his staff and prepared a big attack. Raelif sacrificed his life to save the elf kingdom from the dragons. He died, and the magic staff lost its magical powers. The elves built this temple to secure the staff because they think that one day the magical powers might return to it. That's a pretty cool story. So this is the legendary staff. Oh, that actually looks pretty cool. We got the floating, like, gem in there. And we got, it looks like some wooden, like, leafy texture on the handle of the staff. And check out these, like, other floating magical things here. So yeah, this is a really cool creation. So this could probably go somewhere. I'm wondering, should we have it on... We should probably have it somewhere in this area here. Ooh, the frames are really going down right now for some reason. What are you doing, dragon? What are you doing? I feel like the temple does belong on this particular tile, like this smaller tile with all of the plateaus and things. Because we have the giant tile up there, but I think some of the bigger creations should go up there, even though there's not a whole lot of room. And then we also have another... Let me get up in the air and I'll show you what we're looking at. All right, so we got this tile below us, obviously, and then we got that big tile, and then we also have this tile out in front of us, which has the most open space. So I'm not sure what we should put there. If you have any feedback in the comments, let me know. Maybe some of the creations that we look at might inspire something too. So I think... Ooh... I think this temple might be good on one of those two plateaus in front of me there. Like the top, those are the highest ones on this particular tile. And it might be, it looks like it'll be a good fit there. So which one should we do? Should we do the left one or the right one? It might be a better size for the right one. Let's try that. All right, check this out. This is actually a pretty good fit for this plateau here. So I'm just gonna try my best to weld it relatively centered. I don't know how easy that's gonna be. All right, so we have our very first elf creation welded to this world. Making progress. All right. All right, now this one's pretty cool. This is Wooden Elf Cabin by Blackbird. Blackbird has made a decent amount of elf stuff here. So what I like about this is the fact that it's more of like a cabin hut style thing instead of like a big elegant thing. I feel like this could definitely be a little bit more isolated, kind of on its own, rather than having to be in like a more organized area. So here it is spawned in. I'm just removing some of the pegs here. There we go. So check out the garden here. Very bright garden. We got some vines and stuff. Are those thrusters for the vines? That's pretty cool. All right, let's hop on in and see what we're going to be looking at. All right, looks like we got a bow here. We got some plants, some ducks. Ooh, very, very nice fireplace there. Got some storage underneath the table there. And then we got our bedroom. And a nice carpet, too. All right. It's a cozy little house. Reminds me of like a hobbit house. All right, so let's fly up again and take a look at where we could put things like that. We might be able to put more than one of these as well. There could be more than one elf hut. Now, this one, I think... do you think it could fit right up there? That actually looks kind of small. Or we could put it up there. That one actually looks better. And then we have like that little pathway leading up to it. Although that one has a pathway leading up to it as well. We also have that plateau, but that plateau doesn't look very easily accessible. I feel like a little hut should be more easily accessible for the elf, not person. Are elves people? Would you call them people? I don't know. They're elves. All right, and there it is. We got our first little elf hut, our elf home in the elf world. And we can just open the door, go right on in. You come on out. You can check your garden in the back. I like that the garden's in the back, so it's a little bit, you know, it's not just directly accessible by anybody walking up. They got to go around back, which, I mean, it's not like there's a fence or anything, so never mind. But, yeah. I think it lines up pretty well with the road there. And let's go ahead and check out some more elf creations. All right, so this is an interesting one. This is an Elven Forge by X2840. So I don't know where we would put this thing quite yet, but I just want to check it out. Apparently there's a switch. Oh, there it is. We got a key right there. It looks really interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and press this key here and see what happens. Oh, wow. Wow, that's a lot of fire. Uh-oh. Does it light itself on fire? I don't know if this is flammable. Well, it does light itself on fire, but it looks like it doesn't actually damage itself. I think certain materials don't respond to fire, which is good. But yeah, check that out. Look at the glow. That is intense. So what kind of things would the elves be forging? Leave a comment down below on what you think the elves would be forging in a forge such as this. Actually, hold on, before we put this away, let's look inside. I didn't actually look inside yet. Oh, wow, that's a lot of flamethrowers. No wonder why it's so bright. How many flamethrowers are in this thing? Hold on a second here. 64 small flamethrowers and 9 large flamethrowers. That is a lot of flamethrowers. All right, so I feel like a forge would probably be like way up on top of the mountain there or something. But I think that it should be surrounded by other buildings and stuff too. So let's actually fly up to the top of this mountain here. But first, I want to just stop by the dragon and check in on him really quick. Look at this guy. Look at that guy right there. Now, I don't know if you noticed in the last episode, but I did remove his flamethrower because it seemed more of a hazard to himself than anybody else. But yeah, I think if we get close enough to the dragon, oh yeah, he's gonna come after us. Yeah, look at him. He's coming after us right now. But fortunately, he won't light himself on fire and blow his own head off. All right, we're gonna go away now. You can go back to your egg, Mr. Dragon. And did he lose interest yet? Okay, there we go. He lost interest. That is such an awesome feature of this world right now. I really hope we can keep him for longer. All right, so the forge. Should the forge, where should the, see, we don't have a lot of room to build on some of these tiles. These tiles are very, very like, they're dense, they're very detailed. Now that I think about it, I'm actually not really sure what would fit best on these giant plateaus, because there's not a whole lot of space for like a village or a town or anything like that. It's more just nature here. And that's just kind of what the elves seem to exemplify, is like a connection with nature, at least. So given what you're seeing here, I definitely want some feedback down in the comments. What kind of creations should we put here? And if you're interested in submitting creations, definitely feel free. The elves definitely need some more attention when it comes to the creation submissions. But this area seems like, I think there's something that could fit really, really well up here, but I just don't know what it is just yet. Whereas down here, we have a lot of open space, and we can definitely build something more dense with some more like houses. And I don't know if we want to put the forge down here though. So yeah, let me know what you think about where should we put the forge? Should we put it up there? If so, where? And what else would fit up there? So I'm gonna hold off on welding the forge into the world right now. By the way, check out these installations so far from above. We got the little hut down there. We got the what was it? The temple, I think it was called. Shrine temple with the staff. I think that fits pretty well. So we need something over on that one. What should we put on that one? Well, let's take a look at some more creations. Maybe we'll find something. All right, now here is a really interesting looking creation. So this is an elf sentinel golem. This is by Sam Lyle. It's a giant statue animated by ancient elven magic, tracking and shooting intruders. So check this thing out. This thing is huge, by the way, but there's a switch in the back here. And then, as you can see, it is kind of... Uh-oh. That doesn't look right. Is your arm broken? Oh, there we go. He's aiming at me now. I don't know why his arm's doing that. Okay, I think it's looking a little bit better now. But yeah, as you can see, it's a statue that actually comes alive and follows. And supposedly, I don't know if it actually shoots or if it just aims. Maybe if I get too close. Like, he's definitely aiming at me. Well, let me put it back on a lift, see if it changes his behavior at all. Oh, there we go. That looks better. I think his arm got a little bit weird for some reason. But yeah, now it's looking much more natural. All right, so this... I feel like... I was thinking about putting this by the temple up there, but this is so much bigger than the temple. I feel like these need to be guarding something a little bit bigger than that temple. But there might be something else interesting for the temple that I saw. So we also have this elf group by Diz. So we have an archer, we have a healer slash civilian, and then we have a knight that is kind of kneeling. So I thought he was a little bit shorter, but oh, these guys are actually pretty tall. These are really big. I was wondering if I could put like the healer inside the hut up there, but I think this is actually a little bit big for that. But we might be able to put these knights, like a handful of them, by the temple. So let's go ahead and save the elf knight as its own thing, and then we'll fly up to the temple and we'll see if this thing fits there. But yeah, these golem things, these things are actually pretty impressive, and I definitely want to save those for some... They're going to guard something more significant, but I don't know what yet. But it has to be something comparable to the size, because these things are huge. All right, well, check out, see, even these knights feel kind of big in comparison to this, but definitely a lot more reasonable than the golem for the size of this temple here. So I'm wondering if we should just have like a knight to the side of each door. That might look kind of nice, and we can kind of pretend like they're statues anyway. Yeah, what if we did that? What if we just like welded, I don't know, like right there? I think that looks good. How many blocks in is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th block in. So yeah, we can do that going all the way around. All right, there we go. Now the temple is actually guarded with some type of guard with sword and shield. So I think that's gonna work well. If these were real living elves, then they'd definitely be getting some lunge workouts there. You know, staying in that position forever. Every day is leg day when it comes to these knights. All right, let's check out what else we have. All right, so we have a wall pack here where we could actually build kind of like a castle wall. I hope we'll be able to spawn this thing in all right. I don't know how laggy this is gonna be. All right, well, it's gonna be on a slight angle. So here I think is the inside of the wall, I'm pretty sure. And this is probably the outside. I like the gold trim, especially on the outside. So if we wanted to, we could definitely build like a castle town or tower. Now this is kind of interesting how he has these weld like this. It's like sticking out a little bit. I wonder why that is. So yeah, it looks like, can we, oh, there's a stairway in here. Too bad our lift is actually blocking it here. I think we can put our lift somewhere a little bit more reasonable. There we go. All right, so we're slightly tilted, but we can go ahead and get up onto here. You can check out the walkway. Looks pretty nice. And then we also have a tower that has its own staircase as well. Having some trouble navigating this tilted tower. All right, so this is definitely something, when it comes to the walls, I think this is something we could use on the big open plateau over there. We could probably build like a mini elf castle, not really like a castle, but a mini just just an elf something with walls around it, and maybe the forge and some other buildings can be in there. Let me know what you guys think of that down in the comments. These walls definitely look good. We actually didn't try the door yet. Oh, interesting. Both keys. Oh, okay. There's 2 different walls. So we got 1 and then 2. All right. Interesting. Actually, now I'm kind of curious here. I'm going to give this thing a peg to keep it up off the ground, I hope. Yep, that worked. I'm curious, how big are the Sentinels compared to this wall? All right, so the... Oh boy. So if this Sentinel was, like, guarding the entrance to this thing, it would look like that. That is really, really big. Man, these Sentinels are, like, too big for a lot of the other creations. I don't know what they would be guarding. Maybe they're guarding something that has yet to be built. So for those of you who are watching the series, those builders that are watching the series right now, take a look at some of the Elven architecture we've had so far, especially in some previous episodes. All right, well, this roof no longer appears to want to close for whatever reason, but I think you get the idea of, like, the Elven colorations and the architecture. Like, the gold trim is a really key aspect. I like the circular windows a lot. The color scheme is also in this. I think that's because these are made by the same person anyway. So yeah, I think this is really good for, like, Elven kind of architecture and aesthetic. And then we also have, like, the more natural creations, like this one here, which is really awesome. Where should we put this? Wait a minute. Maybe this is what the Sentinels will be guarding. Yeah, check that out. If you have, like, a Sentinel on either side of this thing, I think that that could definitely be something worth guarding. But then where do we put this? There might be room right over in this flat area next to the pond. Whoops. Yeah, check that out. I think this fits pretty well up here, and it's also, like, the highest point on this, I think this entire map, actually. And this is also one of the more difficult places to reach, at least by foot, for sure. Oh, where'd my frames go? What's happening? Uh-oh. I'm a little bit concerned about the dragon. Now, he's still over there. I can see him right there. Oh, my frames are back now. The dragon was doing something that just shot my frames down like crazy. All right, so I think this is probably the tile for this tower here. Now, let me remind myself, what was the story about this tower? Ah, yes, it contains the soul of an ancient elf father who had found a mysterious crystal that has the power of live. So yeah, let's go ahead and weld this thing up here and put some of those Sentinels by it. All right, check this out with the golems just staring at me. But yeah, we got our tower here. We can go ahead on up into... Oh, I missed the elevator. Hold on. We can go ahead on up into the tower. There we are. Does this call the elevator back? I forget how this thing works. Yep, that does. So yeah, and then we even have... I like how their heads can turn all the way around. Oh, that's not creepy at all. But their bodies only turn like 45 degrees, so it's a little bit weird. So yeah, I think we've made some decent progress in the elf realm. We definitely could use some more types of creations for some, especially for, like, up in this area. There's everything's so huge up here. Like, even this is a pretty huge creation right here, but compared to, like, this tree and everything, it just gets dwarfed in comparison. No pun intended, because we're dwarves and the dwarves are a different faction. So yeah, I'm looking forward to your feedback on the questions I asked earlier in this episode. And if you didn't already, go ahead and check out the dragon episode where we actually played with and installed that flying AI dragon over in the dragon area. You can go ahead and click right here. Hope you've been enjoying the channel, and I hope you've subscribed. Anyway, this has been ScrapMan, and I'll see you next time. Bye.